देखिए आ, आज का जो टॉपिक है, टुडेज टॉपिक इज चैलेंज ऑफ नेशन बिल्डिंग। आज का टॉपिक क्या है? चैलेंजेस ऑफ नेशन बिल्डिंग, राइट। That means today we will discuss about challenges of nation building. ये nation, first of all we have to understand what is nation building and what is nation. Without understanding about nation, we can't understand about the nation building and what kind of challenges come across nation building to build a nation. What kind of challenges we have faced to build a nation. So that we have to understand first what is nation and in what perspective we are understanding about the challenges of nation building, right? First of all, as you know that at the midnight of 14th or 15th August 1947, 14th and the 15th August 1947, this day you may mark 14th and 15th August. This day, India attained independence. Why I am saying that 14th and 15th August? Even you all know that on 15th August, India got independence. But here we are telling that 14th and the 15th August. Why I am telling that the 14th and the 15th August? What is the cause? What are the basic causes that we are saying that 14th or 15th August? Why I am saying that? Because at the midnight, that means the at 0 a.m., right? Okay, that time India, the British India got independence as two nations was divided from British India. One is called India. That means this British India was divided into two parts. Okay, one is India and other is Pakistan, right? That means here you can clearly understand India was divided into two parts. India was divided into two parts. One is known as India and other is known as Pakistan. And this was the first challenge. These two nation state, India and Pakistan came into existence. Okay, and this was the first challenges in front of us. Okay, or leader of our nation, right? And you all know that this was the first challenges for us. Then the on 15th and on 15th or on 14th or 15th August, two nation state, India and Pakistan, came into existence. Lack of people from both sides lost their homes. You all know that. That means lack of people, not one, lives and properties and became victim of communal violence. Even on the basis of the Muslim majority belt, West Bengal and the East Pakistan was created. That is, Bengal was divided into two parts. One is in India and other is in Pakistan. In India, it is known as the West Bengal, and other is known as the Bangladesh, East Pakistan, which is later known as Bangladesh. Okay, is that clear? That means the first and the immediate challenge was to shape nations. The first and immediate challenge was to shape nation. How to shape a nation, yet accommodation of the diversity existing in India. The first challenges we are facing. The first challenge is in our mind. Okay, and how to save the country? How to save the country in this diversity? There are a lot of people live, diverse people live in India. On the not only the second challenge is to how to establish democracy, and the third challenge was to ensure the development and well-being of entire society. how to develop the society. So before going to these challenges, we are just discussing about the introduction portion where how India was divided into two parts and how India was made and what is nation and what is nation building and what are the parameters to need to become a nation. Okay, clear? Now here are a lot of questions in our minds and in also in your minds also. Okay, you all know that when India got independence in 15th August on 15th August 1947 on 15th August 1947, that time Jawaharlal Nehru became the Nehru who Jawaharlal Nehru. Am I right? Jawaharlal Nehru, first Prime Minister of India, first PM of India, right? Jawaharlal Nehru, first Prime Minister of India, who addressed a special session of the Constituent Assembly. As you earlier in your class 11, you have studied about the Constituent Assembly, how and how was it framed, okay, and how was it worked to frame our constitutions, okay. And in the first session, after got independence, the first session, Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, the first Prime Minister of India, who addressed a special session of the Constituent Assembly with famous Traced with Destiny speech. What? Traced with Destiny speech. What he give? Traced with Destiny speech. What is this? What is this? Traced with Destiny speech. What about this? क्या बोलना क्या चाह रहे थे वो? Tell me. What's happening? That means this time it basically said that this word means that Nehru clearly said that this is our destiny speech. This is our that means we are waiting for this moment. What actually they tried to say? They said we are actually waiting for this moment. Okay, and you have read in your history textbooks also that there were many voices in our national's movement, but there were two goals almost everywhere agreed upon. Okay, there are two goals in India. Two goals. There were many voices and demands during the national movement. There are many voices and demands during the national movement, but there were two goals for the nation building on which everyone agreed upon. There were only two goals. First of all, you all know that India was born in very difficult circumstances. As freedom came with partition of the country, which made people homeless. You all know that. But after all, there were two goals almost everyone agreed upon. Two goals after Jawaharlal Nehru give this statement, Traced with Destiny speech, after then it can clearly says about the two goals of every nation, basically India's also, and that after independence we shall run our country through democratic government. First one is the run our country run our country through democratic government. Through democratic government. Democratic government. Run our country through democratic government. And two, the second, government will be run for the good of all. The second goal of India, government will be run for good of all. 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 These two goals, okay, these two goals for nation building on which everyone agreed upon. Now, now that the country, now that the country was independent, the time had to come to realize the promise of freedom. Okay, we are fighting for freedom. Now, after getting freedom, we are promised to give freedom to everyone. This was not going to be easy. It is not easy task because we all know that India was born in very difficult circumstances with partition of the country. As you know that, then was born in a situation more difficult than that of India of 1947. Freedom came with partition of the country. We did not get freedom easily. The painful situation was arriving after independence. The partition of India. This partition of India made people homeless, made people refugee, made people migrate, compelled people migrate from India to Pakistan, Pakistan to India. Okay, this year 1947 was a year of unprecedented violence. This year also marked unprecedented violence. This year also marked unprecedented violence. Unprecedented violence. Trauma of displacement and trauma of displacement. Okay, and the trauma of displacement. Right. That means it was in this situation that independent India started on its journey to achieve several objectives. Yet the trauma, the accommodate of India did not make our leader lose sight multiple challenges that have faced the new nation. We have faced many challenges, and basically we are facing three challenges. Okay, basically we are facing three challenges. We are going through these three challenges, and now try to understand what kind of challenges we have faced. And you can see this picture here. Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru is speaking from the Red Fort, 15th August 1947. You can see this picture. Okay, and India meet multiple challenges, meet multiple problems. Okay, and you can see the pictures of the Hindustan Times, the end of 200 years old British rule in India. Now we are starting from we are going through the three challenges of nation building. Before we are stating about the three challenges of nation building, we are saying something. We are saying some quotations of great leaders. Okay, and we are also telling this quotation in English and Hindi both. You have heard Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, who is known as the father of our nation. Mahatma Gandhi said on 14th August 1947, what he said? He said, tomorrow we shall be free from the slavery of the British domination. Just remark it. Tomorrow we shall be free from the slavery of British domination. But at midnight, India will be partitioned. What he said? Tomorrow we shall be free from slavery of British domination, but at midnight, India will partition. Tomorrow will thus be a day of rejoicing as well as mourning. मतलब कल हम अंग्रेजी राज्य की गुलामी से आजाद हो जाएंगे, लेकिन आधी रात को भारत का बंटवारा भी होगा। इसलिए कल का दिन हमारे लिए खुशी का दिन होगा और गम का भी दिन। This word was said by Mahatma Gandhi. Then Mahatma Gandhi was not happy with this partition. Now, here we have understood about India, how is it partition. But now, first of before going to detailed discussion about the partition of India, we are saying about the challenges of nation building. And before saying about challenges, we are saying about the nation. Now we are saying about India. Now we are telling about the nation. What is nation then? What is nation? Simply, there are a multiple definition you have heard, and in your previous class you have read about the concept of nation. Nation means the oneness. Nation belong to oneness. You have read, right, in class 11. There I am telling about what is nation, right? Nation simply means the oneness, sameness. It means the sameness. That means if there is a one culture, one religion, one language exists, that means this is called the nation. But India is not that kind of nation, because in India there are a diversity of languages, diversity of culture, diversity of religion. In India there is no one religion, there is no one culture, there is no one language. So in this sense, we are not saying that India is nation, but India is also a nation. India is also a nation. Unity in diversity. We are saying that unity in diversity. Nations means the oneness. Okay. And from nations, a word arrive in our minds, the nationalism. But this oneness is not in India. There is a diversity. Okay. Then the first challenges here it is here India faced three kinds of challenges. Independent India faced three kinds of challenges. Okay. The first, and the process of nation building refers to the creation of a nation or a socially constructed or imagined community. First of all, nation building, and after saying about the nation, we are telling about the nation building. The first, and the process of nation building. Okay. The first, and the process of nation building refers to the creation of a what? Refers to the creation of a the first, and the process of nation building. The first, and the process of nation building. Nation building refers to the creation of a nation. Refers to the creation of a nation. To the creation of a nation. Creation of a nation, or a socially constructed, or imagined community, that seeks to be politically sovereign. That means the first, and the process of nation building refers to the creation of a nation or a socially constructed or imagined community. Socially constructed or imagined community that seeks to be politically sovereign. What I am saying? Creation of a nation. Nation, that means one nation. Same nation. Right? Are you sleeping? And the socially constructed. Mind it, socially constructed. It was constructed by the people. The people socially construct the imagine of nation. That means the imagine community. That kind of community you can't see in any society. There are a diversity of languages, cultures, but you can see the when India win cricket match or a World Cup, then you can see everyone enjoy, everyone celebrate this winning or this title, right? That means the first and the process of nation building refers to the creation of a nation or a socially constructed or imagined community. The community which was imagined, okay, and that seeks to be politically sovereign, and it was politically sovereign. Why I'm saying the politically sovereign? Politically sovereign, that means it was free from outside control. It was free from outside control. India has its own government. Okay. The first and the for the first and the process of nation building. This was the process of nation building. And India got independence in very difficult circumstances, as you know. Then in the process of nation building, India faced three kinds of challenges. In the process of nation building, India faced three challenges. India faced three challenges in the process of nation building. In the process of nation building. Right. The first challenge is accommodation and unity. The first challenge is accommodation and unity. Okay. The first and immediate challenge was to shape a nation that was united. That means the accommodation and unity. The first challenge is the accommodation and unity. Right. Accommodation and unity. And the second challenge is establishing democracy. Establishing democracy. Establishing democracy, right? And the third challenge is development and well-being of society. Development and well-being of society. And well-being of society. Development and well-being of society, right? The first challenge is accommodation and unity, establishing democracy, development and well-being of society. The first and the immediate challenge was to shape nation that was united. That was united, accommodative of the diversity existing in the society and eradicating of poverty and unemployment. That means the first challenges you can see here, diversity, accommodation and unity. That means here you have as you know that India was a land of continental size and diversity. India was land of continental size. Here the size was greater. India was a land of continental size and diversity. Its people spoke different languages, followed different cultures. Here people speak different cultures, different language, religion. At that time, it was widely believed that country full of such kind of diversity could not remain together for long. At the time, most of people think that the different language, here you can see different language, languages, cultures. Okay, that means and you all know that India is a land of continental size and diversity. Its people spoke different languages, different cultures, following different religions. At the time, it was widely believed that a country full of such kind of diversity could not remain together for long. The partition of country appeared to prove everyone was fears. There were serious questions about the future of India. The serious question around in our minds about the future of India. Would India survive as a unified country? The first question arrived in our mind. Would India survive? Would India? That means here the first question regarding that this concern were enhanced the result of partition of India. We are saying that would India survive as a unified country? Would it to be emphasizing national unity at the cost of every other objective? Would it mean rejecting all regional or sub-national identities? And there was urgent question: how was integration of territory or India to be achieved? How was integration of territory and that means here the diversity existing in the society, eradicating of poverty and unemployment. Here the sub identities. There are a lot of identities in India. That means our first question in our mind: would India survive as a unified country? क्या भारत एक रह पाएगा? क्या ऐसा करने के लिए भारत सिर्फ राष्ट्र एकता की बात पर सबसे ज्यादा जोर देगा या भारत बाकी उद्देश्यों को तिल कर देंगे? क्या ऐसे में हर क्षेत्र उपक्षेत्र पहचान को खारिज कर दिया जाएगा? उस वक्त का सबसे तीखा और चुभता हुआ यह सवाल भी यह था कि भारत की क्षेत्रीय अखंडता को कैसे हासिल किया जाए? That means how was integration of the territory of India to be achieved? How was this? How was integration of the territory of India to be achieved? Right. That means this was the first challenge faced by leader of that time. Right. The first challenges. The first and immediate challenge was to shape nation. That was united. Yet accommodative of diversity existing in the society and eradicating of poverty and unemployment. How to solve it? This was the first challenges. And the second challenge is establishing democracy. The most second challenge. As you know, India was a land of continental size and diversity. Right? Multiple language here, that means multicultural, multilinguistic, multi-religious peoples live in India. You all know that. Then the second question arises in our mind. The second challenge is how to establish democracy. Okay. That means in Indian Constitution we have already studied about that. We already know that Indian Constitution guaranteed fundamental rights and extended the right to vote to every citizen. Article 326 clearly stated about the right to vote. Universal adult franchise. India adopted representative democracy. You all know that. India adopted representative democracy with parliamentary government. On the base of the parliamentary form of government. India is a parliamentary form of government. That means India adopted representative democracy. Right? Representative democracy. First of all, here first question, you have read about what is democracy in class 9. In class 9 you have read democracy means rule of people. And the rule of people, for the people, of the people and by the people. Right? The famous quotation, the famous line. That means this democracy means the rule of people. That means people directly elect their representative or a government. There are two kinds of democracy you can know. You basically know that. There are a lot of kinds, but two kinds basically now at present you can know two kind of democracy. First one is the a direct democracy, and the second one is the indirect democracy. In direct democracy, people can directly choose their leader, choose their prime minister. But in indirect democracy, people can choose their representative. Through representative, the majority of the party who get more representative, more votes, can choose their leader. Okay, that means India. In India is a land of continental size, or here 144 million people live in India. Right. It is not easy to adopt direct democracy in India. So we adopt indirect democracy, and we adopt representative democracy. We choose our representative as a members of parliament or a members of legislative assembly. Okay. Right. That means the party who get majority in parliament make government, to form the government. Okay, that means in India, representative democracy based on the parliamentary form of government. Here the question arises: not only representative democracy, but also we are also focus parliamentary democracy. What is the parliamentary democracy then? Parliamentary government. Is there any another kind of government also exist in world or not? Exists. What kind of government exists? Presidential form of government. That means parliamentary form of government basically says about that, where the two heads. Okay. That means head of state and head of government are different persons. Okay, in parliamentary form of government, there is the head of state and head of government are different persons. Head of state is president or a constitutional monarch, or in head of government is prime minister. Okay, but in the presidential form of government, there the same head of state and head of government both are the same person, the president or the monarch. Okay, in India there is a parliamentary form of government. In Britain there is a parliamentary form of government, but in America there is a presidential form of government. So the challenge is here you can understand these features ensure that political competition would take place in democratic framework. But it is not enough to establishing democracy. That means constitution is necessary for democracy, but it is not enough for the establishing democracy. It is a challenge to develop democratic practice. Through constitution, our democratic constitution necessary, but not sufficient. You all know this is a democratic constitution, but it is necessary, but not sufficient for establishing democracy. First of all, to develop democratic practice. Suppose you are not you have the right to vote, but you have no voter card. How do you cast your vote? Right? You have the right to vote, but you are not allowed to participate in elections by coercive power or some gundas, right? Then is it democracy? You have heard about the bloodshed, the elections. Most lot of party candidates are brutally murdered by another party candidate. You have heard. Then how do you ensure democratic practice? Okay, it's a good democratic constitution is necessary, but it is not sufficient. It is not sufficient. It is a challenge to develop democratic practice in accordance with the constitution. Okay, the first, accommodation and unity. Second was the establishing democracy, and the third, development and well-being of society. Development and well-being of the society. The third challenge was to ensure the development and well-being of the entire society, not only to some sections. It is not only to some sections. Okay, I am not saying about the some sections of society, entire society. Okay, how to develop the entire society? That means the third challenge was to bring development and well-being of the whole society. What I am saying, the whole society, not for the one section, whole society. How to develop the whole society? Again, the constitution clearly laid down. Just mind it. Constitution clearly laid down that principle of equality and special protection or to especially socially disadvantaged group and religious and cultural communities. Constitution clearly, Article 14. In Constitution, you have studied in previous classes. Article 14. There it clearly mentioned that right to equality. It clearly mentioned about the right to equality. Okay, and from right through right to equality, you can understand. You can a right to equality given to everyone. Article 14 it clearly says that equality before law and equal protection of laws given to all peoples. Article 15 clearly says that prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. What it means? It means that all people who live in our society are not prohibited on the base of their religion, on the base of their caste, on the base of their class, genders. But here it also mentions that if they are socially backward, they are getting reservation, they are getting some benefits, and a state can give a special special provision to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. Okay. Now you have heard about the empowerment of women. Women also get reservations. In Panchayat, you can now, through 106 Amendment Act, women get reservations in Parliament. That means Constitution clearly says about that. Constitution also set out in the directive cultural directive principles of state policy, the welfare goals that democratic politics must achieve. But here the question arises. What kind of question arises then? The real challenge now was to evolve effective policies for economic development and eradication of poverty. What is the real challenge? Effective policies for economic development, effective policies for economic development, policies for economic development, effective policies for economic development and eradication of poverty, and eradication of poverty, eradication of poverty. It's a very real challenge. You know that when India got independence, the main problem is the poverty. How to eradicate poverty, how to remove poverty from our society? It's not easy task. It's a very difficult task. That means these three challenges has been faced by India in the process of nation building. In the process of nation building, first one is the accommodation and unity. As you know that diversity is the biggest problem, and it is not easy task. How was integration of the territory of India to be achieved? Not easy task. But thanks to our leader of that time, who achieved this goal and integrate our India, especially thanks to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who played important role to integrate India. Okay, and establishing democracy. And thanks to all leaders from Nehru to Modi, all are do very good work to establish democracy, practicing democracy. Whether Pakistan was also formed in 1947, but there was no democracy. You have heard there is a military rule. There already you have read in the chapter another chapters in your book. Pakistan followed military dictatorship. Military. There is a military. There is no democracy. Military rule. But India followed democracy. India successfully achieved democracy. We cast our vote in elections. India was the largest. India is the largest world democratic country. Okay, it is. That's why we should thank to all great leaders, all leaders who practicing democracy, development and well-being of society. And in our constitution also ensure the wealth holds also ensure the equal principle of equality, and constitution clearly laid down the principle of equality and special protection to socially disadvantaged sections of society. Okay, now how did independent India respond to these challenges? The first questions. The questions hit our mind. How to India respond? To what extent did India succeed in achieving in various objects set out by the constitution? Already I have said. Okay, and this book also tell about this achievement politics of India since independence, so as to equip you to develop your own answer to big questions like this. In the first chapter, we are questioning, we look how the three challenges mentioned above were faced in the early years after independence. In this chapter, we focus on the first challenge of nation building that occupied in this chapter. In the first chapter, we are focusing on the accommodation and unity. The first challenges. Okay, the center stage in the years immediately after the independence. We begin by looking at the events that form the independence. Okay, and we shall then see how India chose to shape itself into a nation, united by shared history and common destiny. How India chose to shape itself by a nation. How India chose to shape itself into a nation unified by a shared history and common destiny. This unity had to reflect the aspiration of people across the different regions that deal with the disparities that existed among regions and different sections of people. And the next chapter, we are studying about the development and equality and justice. Okay, now there are some great thinkers. Some quotation is mentioned in your book. I am saying some quotation. Okay, here you have picture the Republic of India. Republic of India inauguration January 26, 1950. Here a famous poem written by Faiz Ahmad Faiz, born in Sialkot, stayed in Pakistan after partition. Okay, born in Sialkot, stayed in Pakistan after partition. A leftist in his political learning, he opposed the Pakistani regime and was imprisoned. He opposed Pakistan regime. Okay, and collections of his poetry include Naqs-e Faryadi, Dast-e-Saba, and Jindanama. Jindanama. His poetry include Naqs-e Faryadi, Dast-e-Saba, or Jindanama, regarded as one of the greatest poets of South Asia in 20th century. फैज अहमद फौज का जन्म कहाँ हुआ था? सियालकोट में. क्या लिखते हैं? सुनोगे? ये लिखते हैं द डाउन फ्रीडम, द डॉन ऑफ फ्रीडम, सुबह ए आजादी. हिंदी में पहले बता देते हैं, इंग्लिश में पहले बोल देते हैं. द डाउन ऑफ फ्रीडम, दिस स्केयर्ड मैरिड brightness, this beaten by night dawn, the one that was awaited, surely this is not that dawn. This is not the dawn yearning for which had we set out, friends, hoping to find sometime, somewhere, the final destination of stars in the wilderness of the sky. Somewhere, at least, must be a shore for the languid wave of the night. Somewhere, at least, must anchor the sad boat of the heart. That means what he said in Hindi, ये दाग दाग उजाला ये सब गजीदा शहर, ये दाग दाग उजाला ये सब गजीदा शहर, वो इंतजार था जिसका, वो इंतजार था जिसका, ये वो शहर तो नहीं। देखो कितना अच्छे से वो समझा रहे हैं। ये दाग दाग उजाला ये सब गजीदा शहर, वो इंतजार था जिसका, ये वो शहर तो नहीं, ये वो शहर तो नहीं जिसकी आरजू लेकर चले थे यार की, ये वो शहर तो नहीं जिसकी आरजू लेकर चले थे यार की, मिल जाएगी कहीं ना कहीं, मिल जाएगी कहीं ना कहीं फलक के दस्त में तारों की आखिरी मंजिल, कहीं तो होगा सब ए सुस्त मौज का साहिल, कहीं तो जाके रुकेगा सफीने गम ए दिल। मतलब वो कह रहे हैं कि ये वो शहर नहीं है जिसके आरजू लेके वो चले थे, ठीक है, एक भी नहीं है ना। देखो तो देखो यहाँ से एक और जन है, एक और है आपका, एक और व्यक्ति है जिसकी बात करेंगे, मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना। मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना said in 11th अगस्त 1947 इन कराची, पाकिस्तान के संविधान सभा में अध्यक्ष भाषण देते हुए मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना क्या कहते हैं? We should begin to work in that spirit, and in course of time, we should begin to work in that spirit, and in course of time, all these angularities of the majority and minority communities, the Hindu community and the Muslim community, because even as regard Muslim, you have Pathans, Punjabi, Shia, Sunnis, and so on, and among the Hindus, you have Brahmins, Vaishnav। देखो यहाँ पर बता रहे हैं, अगर आप मुस्लिम से है तो आप क्या है, पठान हो सकते हैं, पंजाबी हो सकते हैं, सिया हो सकते हैं, सुन्नी आदि में बटे हैं। If you are Hindus, then Brahmins, Vaishnavas, Kshatriyas, Bengalis, Madrasi, and so on will vanish. You are free. You are free to go to your temples. You are free to go to your mosque and to any other place of worship in this state of Pakistan. You may belong to any religion or caste or creed that was nothing to do with the business of the state. जब देश को अलग ही करना था तो फिर ये बात क्यों कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं, इसको हिंदी में बोल देते हैं, इंग्लिश में थोड़ा सा जल्दी निकल गए होंगे। हमें बहुसंख्यक अल्पसंख्यक समुदायों की इन जटिलताओं को दूर करने की भावना से काम करना चाहिए। बहुसंख्यक और अल्पसंख्यक दोनों ही समुदायों में तरह तरह के लोग शामिल हैं। अगर मुसलमान, पठान, पंजाबी, सिया और सुन्नी आदि में बटे हैं तो हिंदू भी ब्राह्मण, वैष्णव, खत्री, बंगाली, मद्रासी आदि समुदायों में बटे हुए हैं। पाकिस्तान में आप आजाद हैं, आप अपने मंदिरों में जाने के लिए आजाद हैं, आप अपनी मस्जिदों में जाने या किसी अन्य पूजा स्थल पर जाने के लिए आजाद हैं। आपके धर्म, आपकी जाति या विश्वास से राज्य को कुछ लेना देना नहीं है। राइट। एक और लिखते हैं अमृता प्रीतम। अमृता प्रीतम was a prominent Punjabi poet and fiction writer। उसके बाद पार्टीशन के ऊपर आएंगे, पहले इनकी बात को थोड़ा सा बता देते हैं, ये सब कहानी भी जरूरी है, ये सब भी पढ़ना चाहिए। फिर नेहरू का कोटेशन को भी आएंगे, नेहरू ने क्या कहा था, जिन्ना ने क्या कहा, क्योंकि ये सारे कोटेशन आते हैं एग्जाम में, बोलते हैं, ये पूछते हैं, इसलिए हम बता रहे हैं। इससे क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड है, देख लीजिएगा, इससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है दिया हुआ। अमृता प्रीतम जो है पंजाबी भाषा की प्रमुख कवित्री है और कथाकार है, अ प्रोमिनेंट पंजाबी पोएट एंड फिक्शन राइटर, रेसिपेंट ऑफ साहित्य अकेडमी अवार्ड, पद्मश्री एंड ज्ञानपीठ अवार्ड। आफ्टर पार्टीशन शी मेड दिल्ली हर सेकेंड होम। शी वाज एक्टिव इन राइटिंग, एडिटिंग नागमणि, अ पंजाबी मंथली मैगजीन टिल हर लास्ट। ओके, ये लिखते हैं, टुडे आई कॉल वारिस साहा Today I call Waris Saha. Speak from your grave. And third, today the book of love, next affections page. Once a daughter of Punjab cried and you wrote a welling saga. Today a million daughters cry to you, Waris Saha. Rise, O narrator of the grieving, rise. Look at your Punjab. Today fields are lined with corpses and blood fills the chenab. Someone has mixed poison in the five rivers flow. Their deadly water is now irrigating our land's glory. This fertile land is sprouting venom from every pore. The sky is turning red from endless cries of gore. The toxic forest vine screams from inside its wake, turning its flutes in bamboo shoot into a deadly snake. वारिस साह, ये देखो हिंदी में क्या है, आज वारिस साह से कहती है अपनी कब्र में से बोलो और इसकी की किताब का कोई नया वर्क खोलो. अपनी कब्र में से बोलो और इसकी की किताब का कोई नया वर्क खोलो. पंजाब की एक बेटी रोई थी, पंजाब की एक बेटी रोई थी, तूने उसकी लंबी दास्तान लिखी. पंजाब की एक बेटी रोई थी, तूने उसकी लंबी दास्तान लिखी. आज लाखों बेटियां रो रही है, आज लाखों बेटियां रो रही है, वारिस साह तुमसे कह रही है. ए दर्दमंदों के दोस्त, ए दर्दमंदों के दोस्त, पंजाब की हालत देखो. चौपाल लाशों से अटा पड़ा है, चनाब लहू से भर गया है. चनाब, चनाब माने चनाब का जो नदी है वो लहू से भर गया है. किसी ने पांचों दरियाओं में जहर मिला दिया है, किसी ने पांचों दरियाओं में जहर मिला दिया है और यही पानी धरती को सिंचने लगा है. इस जरखेज धरती से, इस जरखेज धरती से जहर फुट निकला है. देखो सुखी कहां तक आ पहुंची और कहर कहां तक आ पहुंचा. फिर जहरीली हवा वन जंगलों में चलने लगी. उसने हर बांस की बांसुरी जैसे एक नाग बना दी. माने उस समय के दुखों को दर्शाती है क्या हो रहा था उस वक्त. देखो ये जहां पर एक और जिन्ना, मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना सेड अबाउट द constitutional speech, said that कि कोई भी कैसे भी रह सकता है, कोई भी अपने धर्म को पालन कर सकता है, स्टेट कुछ भी नहीं करेगा. नेहरू भी कह रहे हैं, नेहरू क्या कह रहे हैं, वी हैव अ मुस्लिम माइनॉरिटी. व्हाट नेहरू सेड, वी हैव अ मुस्लिम माइनॉरिटी हु आर so large in number, who are so large in number that they cannot, even if they want, go anywhere else. Even if they want, they go anywhere else. That is a basic fact about which there can be no argument. Whatever the provocation from Pakistan, whatever the indignities and horrors inflicted on non-Muslim there, we have got to deal with this minority in a civilized manner. We must give them security. We must give them security and the rights of citizens in a democratic state. If we fail to do so, we shall have a festering sore which will eventually poison the whole body, politic, and probably destroy it. Okay. क्या कह रहे हैं, भारत में मुसलमान अल्पसंख्यकों की तादाद इतनी ज्यादा है कि वे चाहे तब भी यहां से कहीं और नहीं जा सकते. यह एक बुनियादी तथ्य है, इस पर कोई उंगली नहीं उठाया जा सकता. पाकिस्तान चाहे जितना उसकावा दे और वहां के गैर मुस्लिमों को अपमान और भय के चाहे जितने भी घुट पीने पड़े, हमें अपने अल्पसंख्यकों के साथ सभ्यता और शालीनता के साथ पेश आना है. लोकतांत्रिक शासन व्यवस्था में हमें उन्हें नागरिक का अधिकार देने होंगे, उनकी रक्षा करनी होगी. अगर हम ऐसा करने में कामयाब नहीं होते हैं तो यह एक नासुर बन जाएगा जो पूरी राज्य व्यवस्था में जहर फैलाएगा, शायद उसको तबाह भी कर दे. ये नेहरू की वर्ड थी. अब आते हैं नेक्स्ट, इसी चैप्टर का नेक्स्ट पोर्शन. तो कुछ लोगों का कोटेशन हमने देखा. मैंने वी आर थिंक अबाउट सम कोटेशन इन हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश बोथ, and we are telling about the challenges which has been faced by India in the process of nation building. There are three challenges faced by India in the process of nation building: accommodation and unity, establishing democracy, development and well-being of society. Now we are telling about the partition, displacement and rehabilitation. Okay. First of all, the two nation emerged in 14 or 15 August, two nation theory. Okay, as you know that as per two nation theory, as you know, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan was also known as the Frontier Gandhi, was undisputed leader of the Northwest Frontier provinces. Okay, mind the name of this leader. I will say it about this leader after. Now, two nation theory, Pakistan came into existence. You know that two nation theory advanced by the Muslim League. India considered of not one but the two people. Okay, you know that this two nation theory, partition of India. We are studying partition of India. And two nation theory, two nation theory, it was basically advanced by the Muslim League. First two nation theory is given by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. After then Muhammad Iqbal and then Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Okay. Two nation theory advanced by the Muslim League. India consisted of not one but the two people. India consisted of not one but the two people, Hindus and the Muslims. Okay, here it is considered India not one but the two people, Hindu and the Muslim. That is why it demanded Pakistan a separate country for the Muslims. The Congress opposed this theory and the demand for Pakistan. Okay, Congress opposed. But several political development in 1940s, the political competition between the Congress and the Muslim League, the British role led to decision of the creation of Pakistan. Now the question arises, process of the partition. What I am saying, process of the partition. What is the process? Process of the partition. The idea of partition was very painful. We all know that the idea of partition was very painful. It was not easy for us, as well as it was difficult to be implemented. The principle of religion majorities was followed for partition. Religious majorities. It was based upon the fact that areas where Muslims were in majority would go with Pakistan, rest would stay in India. And difficulty emerged due to these principles as discussed below. And difficulties arise. This process of partition is not fairly achieved. The idea might appear simple, but it presents all kind of difficulties. There was no single belt of Muslim majority areas. First difficulty is what kind of difficulties arise here? First difficult, no single territory of Muslim majority. No single territory of Muslim majority. Muslim majority. No single territory of Muslim majority. That means in the British India, there was no single territory of Muslim majority areas. There were mainly two areas with Muslim population. That means the West and the East Pakistan. There was no way to join them together. So it was decided that Pakistan will compromise the two territories, East and West Pakistan, separated by Indian territory. How is it possible? Here is the West Pakistan and here is the East Pakistan. This is the Muslim belt and this is the Muslim belt. And here are some areas which is the Muslim belt areas. Okay. Then there was no single, first of all, there was no single belt of Muslim majority areas in British India. There were two areas of concentration, one in the west and another is the east. Right. Not only that, the first question and the second, not all Muslim majority areas wanted to join Pakistan. Not all Muslim majority areas majority areas wanted to join Pakistan. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting. Not all major Muslim majority areas wanted to join Pakistan. Another difficulty was that not all Muslim majority areas wanted to join Pakistan. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. You have heard the name of Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Right? Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. You have heard the name Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. This short question. Ghaffar Khan. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, undisputed leader of the northwestern frontier province, also known as the Frontier Gandhi, and leader of undisputed leader of the northwestern frontier provinces, and the leader of undisputed leader of northwestern frontier provinces, northwestern frontier provinces. NWFP. Okay, oppose the two nation theory. Oppose the two nation theory. The two nation theory. Oppose the two nation theory. Despite his opposition, NWFP was merged with Pakistan. After this opposition, NWFP was merged with Pakistan. Okay. And the third problem was that of the problem due to the partition of Punjab and Bengal. And the third problem is the partition due to the problem due to partition of Punjab and Bengal. Problems due to partition of Punjab and Bengal. Problems due to partition of Punjab and Bengal. Okay, Punjab and Bengal were the areas where non-Muslim were in majority. Non-Muslim. And these provinces were separated on the basis of religious majority at the district or even lower level. This decision was not implemented by the midnight. Okay. This decision was not implemented on the midnight. And the problems. Punjab and you all know that where the non-Muslim majority, even large number of people did not know on the day of independence whether they were in India or in Pakistan. It's a very interesting. But large number of people don't know. Punjab is in India or in Pakistan? Bengal is in India or in Pakistan? We are saying about this West Bengal. Okay. And the partition of these two provinces caused the deepest trauma of partition. Lot of people lives lost in this region. Okay. And and biggest blunder in the history. You all know that Punjab was divided into two parts. Bengal was divided into two parts. Thanks to Syama Prasad Mukherjee, who said that West Bengal should be in India. Otherwise, we are in Bangladesh. And thanks to, because of that person, West Bengal exists in India. And this was related to the fourth and the most intractable of all the problems of partitions. And the last, problems of minorities on both sides. And the last, problems of minorities on the both sides. Problems of minorities on both sides. The problem was evident when lakhs of Hindus and Sikhs in the areas of Pakistan and Muslims in India found themselves trapped. They found themselves as the undesirable aliens in their own house, in the land where they and their ancestors had lived for years. And the fourth problem, the minorities on both sides. So think it. Most of people live in India. Suppose most of lack of Hindus and Sikhs in the areas of Pakistan, who have left their homes, who have left their property, who earned, right? They found themselves as the undesirable aliens in their own house, in the land where they and their ancestors had lived for years. With the news of partition, the minorities on both sides became every targets of attacks, and very soon the violence went out of the control. You have watched the movie of Gadar. That kind of situation was arrived in India that time, not only India, in Pakistan also. The minorities of Pakistan are targeted, they are attacked by majorities of Pakistan, and the minorities of India are attacked by majorities of India. Right? These are the process of partition. And you all know that the partition, the boundary commission, the head of the boundary commission is the Redcliffe, Sir Cyril Redcliffe. The head of the boundary commission was Sir Cyril Redcliffe. And who don't know? Okay, who are the Muslims and who are the Hindus? They divide, they marked a line. Okay. And after then, the boundary, the line, the international boundary between India and Pakistan is known as the Redcliffe line. Redcliffe line. Okay. Now, consequence of partition. Then, what was the result we get through partition? After partition, what kind of result we get? Okay. After then, we are saying about the integration of princely state in the next class. Okay. Consequence of partition. Consequences of partition. listen, the year 1947, okay, partition witnessed one of the largest, most abrupt, unplanned, tragic transfer of population in human history. Okay, that means this partition witnessed the one of the largest, most abrupt, ये जो consequence partition था ना, unplanned. The year 1947 was the year of the one of the largest, most abrupt, unplanned, and tragic and transfer of populations that human history has known. Okay, consequence of partition have been the consequence of partition we can try to summarize it. Partition could massacre on both sides of the border. What? In the name of religion, people of one community ruthlessly killed and maimed people of the other community. In the name of religion, most of people, one community ruthlessly killed by another community, injured by the people of other community in the name of religion. Cities such as Lahore, Amritsar, I'm not writing here, okay? Just listen. Cities such as Lahore, Amritsar, okay, Lahore, Amritsar, Kolkata became divided into communal zones. Hindus, Sikhs, and Muslims avoid going to each other areas. Avoid going to each other areas. Not only that, minorities on both sides of border fled their home and often secured temporary shelter in the refugee camp. It's a very tragic moment. Minorities on both sides fled their home and often secured their temporary shelter in refugee camp. Forced to abandon their homes, move across borders, people went through immense suffering. Minorities on both sides of the border fled their homes and often secured temporary shelter in refugee camp. They often found unhelpful local administration and police in what was still recently their own country. Okay, this decision was not implemented by the midnight of minorities on both sides. Even people found unhelpful and local administration and police. They traveled to the other side of the new border by all types of mode of transport, often by foot. Think, by foot they have to travel. Okay, during this journey they were often attacked, killed, or raped. During this journey, when they fled their home, abandoned to their home, they are killed, they are raped. Okay, and thousands of women were abducted and raped on both sides of the borders. They were made to convert their religion and forced into marriage. Both sides convert their religion and marriage. In many cases, women were killed by their own family to protect their family honor. To protect their family honor, many people killed their own family. Many children got separated from their parents. Those who managed to cross the border discovered that they had no home. For tens of thousands of these refugees, freedom meant months, sometimes years spent in refugee camps. What kind of freedom we got after independence? What kind of freedom? The partition was not only a division of properties, liabilities, or political and administrative division. Financial assets and things like tables, chairs, typewriters, police, band were also divided. Government and railways were also divided. Division of communities who had lived together as neighbors. It is estimated that partition forced nearly 80 lakh people to migrate across the new border. 80 lakh people are migrated. That means partition pose another deeper issues on identity of India, on whether it is going to be Hindu nations after religion-based partition or not, whether the government of India treat its Muslim citizen and other religious minorities like Sikh, Christian, Jain, Buddhist, etc. equality or not. That means after this partition, this kind of consequences arises. Okay. इसके बाद महात्मा गांधी का सेक्रीफाइस है, इंटीग्रेटेड प्रिंसिपल अगले दिन बोलेंगे, इसको पढ़िएगा, ठीक।